Our brains are incredibly powerful. If you want to talk about, being created in God's image, right? We really truly are. Our default setting is just amazing and incredible. And we've sort of forgotten that and allowed ourselves to now be sort of corralled and controlled. And you were sort of talking about how all of our minds are unique. And of course they are. But the collective consciousness is very real. And, if you've ever been inside of a huge football stadium, for instance, and there's thousands of people all stamping on the bleachers and everyone chanting in unison for their team. There's like a very powerful energy that rises up from.
There's no doubt. You get the goosebumps, the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You can feel that.
Right. And so
and there's a chemical response to it too.
Absolutely. And it's a harnessable energy. Now, if you've talked to any musicians or any athletes who are out there who are feeling that energy from the crowd, they feel that energy and it like motivates them and pushes them, or the band is like, they can get everyone waving their hands back and forth. It is a harnessable energy. And people in power, you've seen it like with Hitler, for instance, his marches are a perfect example of millions of people all lined up in unison and just like caught up in this collective consciousness. And so people do, you have to be aware of how your mind is being sort of corralled and, get angry at that over there.
And we've seen this scaled too. This is scalable. We've seen it. You can point to many examples with 50,000, 100,000 people, but even they've done studies with 5, 6, 10 people in a room where, I forget the name of the study. We highlighted this during COVID with the mask issue, where in a controlled experiment, they'll have, say, 5 people in a room, and they'll say, all you need to do is tell us which line on the screen is the longest line on the screen. And they'll show you 4 lines, and line C will clearly be longer than line A, B, or D. But the 4 people in the group that are controlled, they always say the smaller lines are the longest in this controlled experiment. And then eventually, usually by the 3rd or 4th round, even the guy that's not controlled is saying the smaller lines are longer just because the other people in the room are saying it.
Right. It's the group think and not wanting to look foolish or, well, gosh, everyone else sees it. Something must be wrong with me. And that really, is a strong testament to how important it is for us to get back to our own discernment and get back to our own inner strength and our own mind and make sure that what is happening inside of our own minds is the truth. And, that's this report, this gateway process, that Greg Reese's report, did a great job at kind of summing that up and then going beyond to sort of say that there's so much more to our human potential. This is just one declassified experiment that was going on in the CIA that came out in June 1983. They were working on this. It was declassified, I think, in 2003. And, millions of people were made aware of it then. Of course, it's now come back around and gotten repopularized because of TikTok. And so now a lot of other younger people are being introduced to this information. And we've already kind of collectively been more introduced to yoga and meditation and hypnosis. And so 50 years ago, when they were first starting to study these things, scientifically anyway, it was kind of woo-woo. It was weird and no one believed it. But now the younger generations, they'll just soak all this up. And